Okay, so I'm gonna try and shoot just on 4K today. You tell me if you can see the difference or not. Okay, so maybe it's not actually 4K. I only have one of these like standard SD cards. They can't shoot higher than 2160. Okay, so this is Gustavo. Gustavo is not this. When I compare what I have to what I want, it seems like this endless, like, you know that like story of the guy pushing a boulder up a hill? Like, I'm definitely going to be butchering this, but the idea of the story is that the guy pushes the boulder all the way to the top of the hill, and he's cursed by the gods that every time it gets there, it rolls back down. This is Greek mythology, it's not real. But it's a metaphor for whatever. It's kind of like the absurdness of life. And I don't know if I fully understand that or not, but what I do understand is that every time I get a new piece of camera equipment, something else that is better either exists and I need to get it, or something I have just doesn't seem as good anymore once I see that new thing that is a little bit better. And I know this is a little bit different, but hear me out. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, as small as it seems to be concerned about whether I have one kind of SD card or a fancy one, or whether my car is new or old, I think it what's it called? It's like a small way to explain like a bigger overlying issue. Well, and I know I may be over analyzing like such a small example. It's just supposed to be like the guy can't get it up the hill, he's cursed because life is like, it's like that, like the gods curse it. But in my reality, there is no gods. We made those ones up. There's only one God. And although there is a curse in the world and there's evil everywhere, I still think it's fully definable by how you perceive it. And so, okay, this kind of hit me this morning, especially because my daughter was like, you know, I feel like we do the same thing every day. We did the same thing yesterday. I'm going to do the same thing again tomorrow. And she had a sad, melancholy tone about it. And I'm like, dude, you're 6. When I was thinking about this, not only did that make me sad, but I was really struggling with a good example to tell her of something that just makes sense. And from all of my research in this space, I think I've only really come up with 2 viewpoints, and they're kind of the exact same. So the first one is to just change the perspective from Sisyphus, right? The guy pushing the boulder up the hill. And I hear this one probably the most. It's the alpha dog. There is no finish line. There is no top of the mountain. There is only the work. You know, forget any peak or any achievement. Don't even celebrate. Just continue on. And that's like a stoic mindset that I personally really appreciate in regards to business and fitness, and just those things make sense to me, right? But then there's other things in life. There's other things you're trying to do, and I don't know. That alpha dog thing doesn't always work, right? There's a rock bottom place that I get to, and I get this dark place, and I confront my demons there, and I deal with it in that way, and it works really good. But then, every now and then, if you ever listen to Jason Mraz, he came out with this song, and it's called Be Where Your Feet Are. And I think it's just a little bit of this. Just sitting there, what are your feet touching? Are you sitting on the couch right now? Are you outside? Are you in your car? Like, what do you smell? What are you experiencing? Are you pushing on the gas pedal? Are you putting your toes in the sand? You know, are you breathing fresh air? Are you inside? Are you breathing air conditioning air? Taking those breaths and like being present with where you are, whether it's good or bad or like none of that matters. Don't even think about like where you came from or where you're going, but just being present, right? The alpha dog just literally, like, all I imagine is like sweat dripping down this syphilis guy's head, and he's just pushing this boulder, and that's all he's doing. He's like, I'm gonna do this forever. That's great. He's very present. There is no bottom of the mountain. He's not thinking about that. He's not thinking about the top of the mountain. He's just right there. And then there's this other, like, kind of peaceful meditation type thing, you know, seeking that peace within yourself, where you're just sitting, taking in little things one detail at a time, and just being present. But just being present, if nothing else, like, that is the main thing. But it's hard to do, and I think there's different ways to do it, and I think they're both right. Okay, so we got totally rained on filming that. Hopefully it came out pretty good. Z got into like every shot and then threw my shirt into the ocean. If nothing else, like, this explanation or like metaphorical deep dive into syphilis / like just being present helps, you know. I hope it lifts people up. Definitely for me, it adds to the depth of my thought process when I'm going into things like this. Like, I just saw a meme today where it's like a big old complex artistic piece above the head of whoever, and they're like me when I'm having my, you know, crazy interdimensional understanding by myself, and then me trying to put it into words, and this little like air puff pops out, and it's like that's it. Like, that's exactly what it is when you're trying to explain to a 6-year-old who you can only use a couple words with, like, how to overcome this kind of, like, I don't know, syphilis type metaphor, you know, when they're a child. And what's crazy is I was thinking about the same thing just the other day by myself. It was one of those grind mode kind of days. I did like 3 or 4 days straight of just work and watching the kids, and like nothing like this, like not going outside or doing anything at all. So being able to do that and kind of doing that reset, being present in those moments and just fully focusing on stuff just besides the gym. As great as the gym is, I think you need some other stuff too. You need to get outside, do some hiking, adventure surfing, hanging out with some good dudes, you know, as long as they're truly good people, whatever it is. So, that was a long one, dude. Hopefully that video helped. If you agree, comment below. If you disagree, comment below. Like, I'm genuinely curious on your guys' kind of solution towards that, like, mundanality of the endless pursuit type of thing, or if you're just fully locked in the presence of it, and if that's working for you, or like you do some meditation type stuff. Let me know. Peace.